In Penny Lane there is a barber showing photographs of every head he's had the pleasure to know. And all the people that come and go stop and say hello. On the corner is a banker with a motor car, and little children laugh at him behind his back. And then the banker never wears a Mac in the pouring rain. Very strange. Penny Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. There beneath the blue suburban skies I sit, and meanwhile back Penny Lane there is a fireman with an hourglass, and in his pocket is a portrait of the Queen. He likes to keep his fire engine clean. It's a clean machine. Penny Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. For a fish and finger pies in summer. Meanwhile back behind the shelter in the middle of the roundabout, a pretty nurse is selling poppies from a tray. And though she feels that she is in a play, she is anyway. Penny Lane, the barber shaves another customer. We see the banker sitting waiting for a trim. And then the fireman rushes in from the pouring rain. Very strange. Penny Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. There beneath the blue suburban skies I sit, and meanwhile back Penny Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. There beneath the blue suburban skies, Penny Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. There beneath the blue suburban skies, Penny Lane.
Good morning, and welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Cincinnati. My name is Reverend Connie Simon, and we are very glad that you're here with us on this special Sunday morning. Located on the ancestral lands of the Adena, Hopewell, Miami, and Shawnee people, this community welcomes all with love, supports learning and spiritual growth, serves our wider community, and works for justice, equity, and inclusion. We're very glad that you're with us. At the end of the service, there will be announcements of upcoming events. If you'd like to learn more about any of these events, our community, or any of the programs that we're involved with, please contact us at member-care@firstuu.com. We begin our service by lighting our chalice, the chosen symbol of our faith, with these words by Robin Gray. By the light of this chalice, we prepare for the future. We prepare ourselves for times of triumph and times of trial that might come. We prepare ourselves to be present to one another with loving hearts, even in the most difficult of times. We prepare ourselves to make the connections that will lift us out of isolation and prepare the path of justice and equality. Please join now in singing our church vision song. The words will appear on your screen. We are a liberal religious
Just keep singing it over and over in your head. We'll get there. There we are. Let me take you back for a moment to 8th grade language arts and have you recall the definition of allegory. You remember? Oh, some of you, that's okay. If you forgot or if you haven't made it to 8th grade yet, let me refresh your memory. An allegory is a story or poem or song or picture that can be interpreted to have a hidden meaning. I don't know if our story today was written as an allegory. I do know it could certainly be interpreted that way. So, with that,
The Longest Storm by Dan Yaccarino. For Michael and Lucy. A storm came to our town. It was unlike any storm we'd ever seen. No one knew how long it would last. We were going to have to stay inside, maybe for a long while. There was nothing to do, and too much time to do it. Being home together like that all the time felt strange. But soon it went from strange to bad to worse. And just when it seemed like it couldn't get any worse, it did. We were completely sick of each other. Is it possible for a family to run out of nice things to say? Everyone just wanted to be alone. At least that way we wouldn't get so mad all the time. But then came the night we all heard a rumbling in the distance. There is a big flash. The whole house shook. Then nothing. We all said we were sorry. The morning came and something had changed. But not the storm, it was still there. Not having to stay inside together, we still had to do that. It was hard to say what had made the difference. Someone would still get angry at someone else, just not for all that long. Then things started to get better a little every day, until things were good. And then came one impossibly beautiful day when the storm was gone. We went outside. There was so much work to do. I wonder, during this time of emergence, what work we have to do.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
You haven't sung that in a while, have you? You didn't remember how it went? I should have put the words up there. We'll get used to it again. Little by little, every week, something new is coming. Something old is coming back. Something different is coming. And this is the perfect time to think about those things. The new, the different, the things to amplify, the things to restart, the things to end, the things to consider, the innovation that can take place, the good things that have happened to us in the last week, and even the not so great things that have happened to us in the last week. Our joys and our sorrows. We've had joys this week. We've had good news. We know that Noel is getting better. We know that Jean Rowling is doing well. I actually laid eyes on her. We know that there are several people in this congregation who have not been feeling well and are on the mend. And at the same time, we know that there are those who continue to struggle, who continue to deal with family issues and health issues, who continue to grieve for loved ones lost, for jobs lost, for connections lost. Those things still happen to us. They don't stop. It's this never-ending cycle. That's why every week we come in with these stones to honor that never-ending cycle. The stones represent those joys and sorrows and all the things that are on our hearts. The water represents the healing power of this community. So by dropping a stone in the water, we amplify our joy or seek to soften our sorrows. Now, for many months, the one bowl sat here and I put the stones in for you. And then we added that back in. And it took you a bit the first time to remember how to do it, and now there are even more of you. So we'll share the how to do it again. Come up from the outside, drop a stone in the water, and go back down the center aisle. Please come forward as you are willing and able. I hold in my hand 3 last stones, and I will drop them in the water. 1 for those that we've named. 1 stone for those names we do not know, the names of the people affected and trying their best to survive in Ukraine, the people who are trying to escape wildfires in Florida, the people who survived the tornado in Iowa yesterday, those who continue to deal with illness, grief, depression, and sorrow, whose names we do not know. We drop a stone. And 1 last stone for all of those names that we carry carefully guarded in our hearts, known only to ourselves. Please join me now in a moment of silent meditation, reflection, or prayer as we enjoy these beautiful flowers that were given to us today by Jo Ellen in honor of her mother, always a UU, and the choice of color is intentional for Ukraine. After which we will sing "Comfort Me" 2 times.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
Good morning. There you go. The 2022-23 Stewardship Committee wants to connect with you on our annual pledge campaign this year, Reconnect and Recommit to Our Path Forward. In the words of Mark Morrison Reed, the central task of a religious community is to unveil the bonds that bind each to all. There is a connectedness, a relationship discovered amid the particulars of our lives and the lives of others. During this next month, each member and each friend of the congregation will be personally contacted by a stewardship committee canvasser to get your input on how you feel most connected to First Church. What are your hopes? What are your dreams? We hope you take advantage of this opportunity to connect with and have a meaningful conversation with a fellow First Church member. These conversations, they are the heart and the soul of this campaign. Now, you probably also know that the Stewardship Campaign is about funding your hopes and dreams for the ministry of First Church that we provide to both members and the community that we serve. This past year, the staff and volunteers at First Church have tried to stay connected with you through enhanced hybrid operations and numerous lifespan faith development offerings. We have continued to maintain meaningful relationships with tutoring at Avondale and Shiloh Food Pantry. In fiscal year 22-23, we have plans to hire 2 staff positions, Director of Operations and Office Administrator. In the next few days, you will be receiving either by mail or by email an invitation to pledge. This mailing will include a giving guide, the bottom of which is your pledge form. During your conversation with your canvasser, you may choose to give that form to your canvasser. You may also pledge online or by mailing the pledge form into First Church. Now, here's an important point. If you get onto our webpage right now and follow the link to giving your pledge, it is not up to date. It's the 2021-22 pledge form, so don't follow that link. We will be emailing to you a link for the 2022-23 pledge campaign to pledge online. We hope you will carefully review the stewardship materials you receive as you contemplate a giving level that feels right for you. If you have questions about the 2022-23 stewardship campaign, you can contact Scott Kelly or myself, Nancy Sawyer. Our contact information is in the mailing that you will receive, and it's also on the First Unitarian webpage on the giving pages. Thank you to Carol Willis, Heather Zoller, and Rebecca Schaefer for their efforts toward the financial ministry of this congregation. So please look over the materials you receive in the mail. Welcome your canvasser when they contact you. We really do want to reconnect as you recommit to our path forward with the ministry of First Unitarian of Cincinnati. We will close with a wonderful video produced by Cornelia.
Thank you to Cordelia Maynard for that amazing video. That is the talent that lives in this church. So for the month of March, as you may have guessed, there will not be a Share the Plate because we are focusing on our Canvas efforts. You may still donate to any of our programs here at First Church if you so choose. We tried to make giving as easy as possible. You can text the word GIVE to 513-7373, and then you'll be prompted to select where you want your contribution to go. You can do the same thing on the Breeze member system if you have access to that by clicking on Give Now. You can go to the website. You can donate on the website. Not to the 23 pledge drive, but you can donate to anything else. Or you can mail a check made payable to First Unitarian Church and send it here at 536 Linton Street, Cincinnati, Ohio 45219. If this is your first time visiting, we invite you to let the virtual plate pass you by. Your presence is your gift to us. Our offering will now be gratefully received.
Trailer for sale or rent, rooms to let 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. I ain't got no cigarettes. I burn 2 hours of pushing broom. Gets ya 8 by 12 4-bedroom. I'm a man of means, by no means king of the road. Third boxcar, midnight train, destination Bangor, Maine. Old worn out shirt and shoes. I don't pay no union dues. I smoke old stogies I have found, short but not too big around. I'm a king of the road. I know every engineer on every train, all of the children and all of their names, every handout in every town, every lock that ain't locked when no one's around. I see trailer for sale or rent, rooms to let 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. I ain't got no cigarettes. I burn 2 hours of pushing broom. Buys a 8 by 12 4-bedroom. I'm a man of means, by no means king of the road. I'm a man of means, by no means king of the road.
I think you can do a little bit better and give it up for our First Church house band. They rock, don't they? They are amazing. They are amazing. So let's think about this. We saw our story with the family, stuck in the house, loving each other, loving the chance to be away from their regular routines at first. And then, boy, oh boy, does this get old. It gets tiring. Nerves get frayed. Emotions are raw. It's a hard time to be isolated like that. And we did it. We've been doing it. Actually, it will be 2 years this Friday. This time 2 years ago, we were hearing the news about this new coronavirus. And the discussions were starting to circle around through business and churches and throughout the UUA, and colleagues were calling each other, and we were trying to figure out what on earth are we going to do. We are incubators. Look how close you are together. On that Tuesday or Wednesday of that week, I talked to the board, I talked to the staff, and I said, pack up, we're going home. We're closing the building and we're going home. And we figured out how to run a church from our individual homes spread all around. I was going to say Hamilton County, but I don't think we're all in Hamilton County even. Spread all around the metro area. And there were rocky points. It was a rough start. Because that first Sunday, we had to figure out how to do church on Zoom. We had to figure out how to help many of you even access Zoom. We had to figure out how we would do things like payroll and accounts payable, and what about the mail? And do we clean the building? Do we have to get the building disinfected every week? What on earth are we going to do? How do we connect with folks? What about those folks who only come out once a week anyway and are going to miss social connection? It was a rough time. And we've gone up and down, and we figured out some ways around it, and there are some things that still aren't the way they were. And that's okay. Because we are here. We are as safe as we can be, and we are together. All those other things don't really matter so much. It's true, it's been a tough time, but it didn't just start with COVID. The last 5 to 10 years have been a tough time for many churches and many religious and ethical even organizations, as fewer people are coming to organized events. Attendance is declining, and most congregations are aging. We are adding new members. We have been adding many new members over the last several years, and still we're just about where we were when I got here, because we have lost so many elder members and the natural attrition that comes when people move away or whatever. So those things have happened to us and to other churches. We see financial issues here and in other congregations, because as those elder members who more than likely had more financial resources pass away, the responsibility and the weight falls on younger members, many of whom are dealing with exorbitant child care costs, college costs, and now losing employment opportunities because of COVID. They're dealing with student loan debt, which is at an amazing all-time high. And on top of that, they're not making as much money. Salaries are lower. So yeah, we've had new members come in. It's kind of balanced itself out. It's been difficult. We have also had, let's be honest, conflict that has isolated some, that has caused some to isolate themselves from the congregation, that has created some tension and some uneasiness. That is a fact. That is a truth. And I would like to think that we are back together in love. Those who are committed to this congregation, who love this congregation, who have been willing and able to look past all of those other things and see them for what they are. Things that happen in a family. And still stay together as a community. So here we've been. We've switched to virtual offerings. There's no plate passing around anymore. And we know that not everyone has come back for a lot of reasons. Some don't feel safe yet coming out. Even though the CDC has changed mask requirements, even though we have first and second vaccines and boosters, there are still some who, for various reasons, are not able to get the vaccine. Let's remember those who are immunocompromised, those who care for folks who are immunocompromised. There are still people who are unvaccinated or who need to remain incredibly as safe as they can. So that has affected how we gather. And here we have seen our finances affected, specifically here in the church, by not having those offerings, through folks whose jobs have been affected, through trying to figure out what our hours would be for our staff when the building is closed. But now, today, starting now, we have an opportunity to restart, an opportunity to amplify, to change, to reconnect, to recommit. We have an opportunity to embrace future change. You've made many comments through our small group future change discussions. You may have noticed that a few people have written on the board outside. Would it surprise you to know that the folks who have written those comments are our youth? This is our teens telling us this is what we need to be doing. How many of you have even stopped to look to see what they said? Just saying. This is our opportunity to meet those challenges, to embrace the ideas that you came up with, to come up with even more ideas, to help a world that is desperately in need of help. There are people out there today, probably people within my line of sight, who are trying to decide whether to pay the electric bill or buy food, whether to buy medicine or pay their car insurance. Our community is struggling. We have the opportunity to embrace those challenges, to do future change, and to help the community. Now, how are we going to do this? Well, let's start with reconnecting. The first way we can do it is physically. Come back. If you're watching at home and you feel okay coming out, come back in on a Sunday morning. We miss you. Invite someone else to come with you. Bring a friend. We can reconnect physically. We can reconnect emotionally as well. Not by ignoring our differences. Don't do that. But by setting them aside for the common good. We never want to become one giant pot of people who all think alike and look alike and act alike. That would be boring and unhealthy. We want to embrace our diversity and our differences and still be able to connect emotionally. Reconnect with us spiritually. Nancy mentioned that during this past year, Meredith has done an amazing job with the Lifespan Faith Development Committees and with our teachers in creating so many virtual offerings, ways for us to do things. And it's not just because of COVID. It's because some people can't drive at night, don't want to drive at night. Isn't it nice to be able to participate in a TAD Talk from your home on a Friday night? I see thumbs up and heads nodding. You can reconnect spiritually through our education programs. You can reconnect through worship. Come to Sunday service. Vespers is coming back in the month of March. Our special Vespers this month will be on Defund Fear. And it will be an opportunity for us to also greet new people who might be interested in joining First Church. You can reconnect through our justice work. Every week, the social justice team puts out a list of things that you can do to become involved. If Shiloh or IHN or the South Avondale literacy programs aren't your thing, that's okay. There are so many other things on that list that you can do. Come back and reconnect with us spiritually. Fulfill your soul and do the work of justice. We also have an opportunity to recommit. We have an opportunity to recommit to the mission of this congregation, to truly welcome all with love. Not the way we want them to feel welcome, but to welcome them with the love that is open-armed, open-minded, open-hearted, that allows people to truly come as they are, come whoever they are. We have the opportunity to recommit to supporting learning and spiritual growth by participating in lifespan faith development committee work, by maybe volunteering to be a host for something, hosting a Zoom conversation, facilitating one of our book conversations. There are ways for you to be involved there. And I've talked about serving the wider community. There are many opportunities for us to do that and to work for justice, equity, and inclusion. Most importantly, we have an opportunity to recommit to one another, to restore, reinforce, reaffirm, restate our covenant that we are a people who choose to be together, and that we agree among ourselves what that means. I think it means that we come together in love and that all are welcome. I hope that's what it means. It may not mean that all behaviors are welcome, but it means that all people are welcome. I would actually like to think all creatures are welcome. So this month, you're going to hear from a lot of folks about how they connect with First Church, what's important to them, what your pledges will mean to this church. I'll tell you a few things that those pledges will mean. Continued inclusiveness. With your pledges, we are able to offer more programs. We're able to purchase books for folks who might not otherwise be able to get them to participate in our book discussions. We're able to pay fees to bring other programming here into this congregation. We're able to spend money on promoting our congregation by perhaps even letting folks know what goes on inside these walls. Maybe even opening the doors and inviting people in. Come and have lunch with us. Come have dinner with us. Come watch a movie. Your pledges will support that kind of work. Your pledges will support increased hybrid technology offerings. 2 years ago when we left, there was no projector, no cameras, none of that. And now we are able to share our worship service in real time with those who are physically unable to be in this building, which is amazing. And that's through your efforts. We are working on being able to do the same thing to broadcast from the Ellen Hall room. Hopefully that will be a reality. Think of how many programs we have in the Ellen Hall room that folks at home are missing. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to include them? Wouldn't that be more attractive to renters who might like to use our space? Your pledges will support outings for our youth. not just the salaries of our wonderful teachers who are up here now, but also program fees, travel expenses, curriculum fees. Your pledges will support our staff, making sure that they are paid at fair compensation for the work they do. It's easy to say, they don't need a raise. But have you looked at the price of bacon lately? Have you looked at the price of a gallon of gas? Costs are still going up. So it's important that our staff is paid at fair compensation rates. And those costs that are going up, they still affect the church. So our energy costs are increasing. We are replacing our phone system so that we can answer the phones. Your pledges make that possible. Your pledges make possible training and continuing education for all members of the staff. I will tell you one initiative that I have proposed for this year, and I hope you will approve it, is that there is money set aside for continuing education for Meredith and Jera and for the operations person, whoever that new person will be, that is dedicated just for them. Meredith has already started taking continuing education on her way to being a credentialed religious educator. We are very, very lucky and blessed to have her. Your pledges will help support her continued growth. Jera is involved in the program for credentialing musicians. She will have projects, and I suspect she'll be bugging us to participate in her projects in the next year, but that's okay. We are working to make sure that our staff is the most well-equipped possible, that we have the right technology, that we have the right equipment on our desks, that we're getting the right pay, that they have the appropriate benefits levels. That's the work that comes as a result of your pledges. Now, I know that there's also a little bit of pride at work here at First Church. There's always a little bit of pride at work here. You are proud of this congregation. You are proud of this building. You are proud of the history of this church and of the many, many people who have passed through these doors. And rightly so. So I'm going to close with something that was written by Reverend Dr. Michael Schuler about pride. If you are proud of this church, that's what he calls this. If you are proud of this church, become its advocate. If you are concerned for its future, share its message. If its values resonate deep within you, give it a measure of your devotion. This church cannot survive without your faith, your confidence, and your enthusiasm. Its destiny, the larger hope, rests in your hands. I invite you all during this month and the many months to come to take advantage of these opportunities to reconnect and to recommit to First Church. Thank you. We're going to extinguish our chalice now by reciting together the words that appear on the screen. Together we say, "We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again." Now, usually I might start talking about some announcements, but today we have a special guest. someone who snuck in while you weren't looking. So I would like to invite Faith Maynard, President of the Board of Trustees, to come forward and bring our special guest. You can mumble all you want. You're coming. I'm going to come down there. Oh, you're going to have more chance to cheer and do all that stuff. Our Carrie is leaving us. March 11th will be her last day as Director of Operations. I don't say that we are going to replace her because we can't. For the last 9 years, 8.5, almost 9 years, she has worked tirelessly on your behalf. She has given all that she has to this job, to this congregation, to this community. And now the time has come for her to give some of that heart to herself, to her own health. So, Carrie, we will miss you. We have a couple of things for you. First, some pretty flowers. And Faith.
Thank you for all you've done. You have reimagined and helped us grow.
Yes, she said that she has reimagined and helped us grow in ways we never thought possible. So this certificate says, this certificate of appreciation is presented to Carrie Speece for her years of outstanding service to the congregation of the First Unitarian Church of Cincinnati, presented on March 6, 2022 at the First Unitarian Church of Cincinnati, 536 Linton Street, Cincinnati, Ohio. Cheer wildly now. Now, you knew that we were going to start coffee hour today. And I said there might be some treats at coffee hour. Oh, we got you. There are treats and things in the Ellen Hall room for you. So we're going to finish up with announcements and some special traveling music for Carrie from the band. I know that you all want to greet her, but please let's let her get into the Ellen Hall room and get seated where she can be comfortable. And then you are more than welcome to come up and, well, hugging is up to her, but you can greet her and do whatever you like. Thanks. And you can dance during the song if you want.
To ride with the vending machine repairman. He said he's been down this road more than twice. He was high on intellectualism. I've never been there, but the brochure looks nice. Jump in, let's go. Lay back, enjoy the show. Everybody gets high everybody gets slow. These are the days when anything goes. Every day is a winding road. I get a little bit closer. Every day is a fading sign. I get a little bit closer to feeling fine. He's got a daughter he calls Easter. She was born on a Tuesday night. I'm just wondering why I feel so all alone, why I'm a stranger in my own life. Jump in, let's go. Lay back, enjoy the show. Everybody gets high, everybody gets low. These are the days when anything goes. Every day is a winding road. I get a little bit closer. Every day is a fading sign. I get a little bit closer. Every day is a winding road. I get a little bit closer. Every day is a fading sign. Get a little bit closer to feeling fine. I've been swimming in a sea of anarchy. I've been living on coffee and nicotine. I've been wondering if all the things I've seen were ever real, were ever really happening. Every day is a winding road. I get a little bit closer. Every day is a fading sign. Get a little bit closer. Every day is a winding road. Get a little bit closer. Every day is a fading sign. Get a little bit closer to feeling fine. Every day is a winding road. Every day is a winding road. Every day is a winding road. It's a winding road. Thank you.